This is a Dalarna University production.
Hello, my name is Herbert Jonsson. I'm senior lecturer in Japanese here at Dalarna University. I'm very happy to be able to present Professor Yoshikazu Kawaguchi from Waseda University in Tokyo. Welcome, Professor Kawaguchi.
Thank you very much.
You're visiting us here this week to share your ideas and knowledge of Japanese language teaching with teachers working in Sweden, and therefore it would be very interesting to hear a little bit about your background, your research and your ideas about teaching. So, well, let's start with your background.
Okay. My background, I think, is very unique because first I started my career as an employee in a German pharmaceutical company, and while I was in the sales department. And at the time, I would like to learn a lot about foreign language, especially German, because it's a German company. But later I realized that the most important language in the world of business is English. See? So I sort of over and over again, and I finally quit the job in that company, and I entered one of the English conversation schools in Tokyo. And I learned 2-3 years, I think, as a student. And while I was studying there English, I had a lot of friends, English-speaking friends, some from Canada, some from the United States. And they asked me a lot of questions about Japan and her culture and her language. And many times I had a lot of hard time to answer the questions because I realized that I knew only little about Japan and its culture and language. So I got very much deeply interested in to learn more about Japanese language and Japanese culture. And by doing so, I found Japanese language is quite unique and very, very interesting. And at the second year of the school, I met a lady who used to be a Japanese teacher. And she told me that teaching Japanese as a foreign language or second language is worth for your dedication. So I got very much deeply interested in teaching Japanese as a foreign or second language. So I entered into graduate school of my alma mater, Waseda University. And then after learning pedagogy and linguistics for 3 years, I got a chance to be a Japanese teacher. So after that, then I have been working quite hard, and here I am.
What kind of research did you begin with?
My first research was about Taigu Hyongen, which is politeness system in Japanese. The politeness system in Japanese is very complicated. It's one of the most difficult factors in Japanese language to be taught and to be learned. So it was critical for me to learn or to know as much as about this politeness system to be a good Japanese teacher. But at the same time, I found it is also very critical and important to learn more about the different fields of linguistics, such as phonetics, phonology, syntax, semantics, and discourse analysis, and social linguistics, and so forth. So I did a little researches on those fields, and I think I had quite a lot of variety of my research field.
So you have a very broad spectrum of interests in the field. Yeah. But if you would put your own focus somewhere, what's most important, do you think, in language teaching?
I see. Now I think that the most important part of the field of teaching Japanese or teaching any foreign language is the notion that how to make your student an autonomous learner. Okay? And to be an autonomous learner, you should know not only language itself, but also some other rules of communications, which is important to be a person who knows how to express him or herself, and how to know to understand others in a very effective way.
You're now working at Waseda University
Yes.
at the Department of Japanese Language Education. And how would you describe that department from the point of view of didactics?
Our department is very unique, I think. First of all, it's a center of Japanese language education, and there's only one center. The Waseda University is a big university, and it has more than 5,000 students. And among that, we have now 4,500 foreign students. Okay? That's a big university, but there's only one center of Japanese education. And our center has offers quite a variety of Japanese classes. Actually, we offer 600 different classes per week. And we have 8 proficiency levels, okay? And with 8 at the highest. And we have quite a lot of independent studies also. And we have kanji classes and pronunciation classes and politeness system classes, and all those fields of communication, and some more activity classes, such as making dramas and performing it in public, and interviewing people outside of the campus, and writing semi-academic research papers and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this department at Waseda has a special ideology or a special ideas about teaching, or are there many different opinions among staff?
Actually, it's a combination of a lot of ideas and notions. Some teachers are quite conventional, and they like to teach textbooks as it is, instructed. And some of the teachers are quite unique, such as, as I said before, ask the student to make their own dramas and practice it and give a performance in public. So we are from the leftist wings to the rightist altogether. And that's a kind of big variety of pedagogy. And I think I like it. I think it is one of the most unique and important point of a university language center.
Yeah. Here at Dalarna University, some of our teachers are very much influenced by one concept that you have introduced into Japanese language teaching. This, in Japanese it's kojinka, and in English you call it personalization. How would you describe that concept in a simple way?
I see. Personalization is an idea I borrowed from the researches done by Alice Amaji Hadley in her book of published in 1986, Teaching Language in Context. And I found that personalization is very important because under this notion, you have to give your student a lot of chances, as many as a chance possible, to let them express their own meanings of their meanings, their real meanings, okay, which is meaningful to themselves. And maybe you don't have enough time to go to the mechanical drills and checking the homeworks of grammatical point of homeworks, but it's okay. So you take all the chances to encourage, to ask your student to express their emotions and ideas and experiences and opinions. And that's what personalization is all about. And Alice Hadley didn't give any definition about this concept, although she uses this terminology quite a lot in her book. So I give a definition, and definition of personalization is to ask and to encourage the student as much as possible, as often as possible, to express themselves by using target language.
Why is this important when you teach a language?
Okay. Personalization is important because so far in conventional methodologies of the language teaching, not only grammar translation but also audio-lingual approaches and communicative approaches, we have not given our students to express their own meanings. Okay? We have given them some practices to have a kind of simulation practices. Okay, the practice that you think the outer world is a real world, and you have your student ready to the real outer world communication. But under the notion of personalization, the most important setting is classroom itself. Okay? So classroom has its own real communication setting and its real context. So it is quite independent from the outer world. So under this notion of classroom context, the student have their own meanings under these circumstances. So they have to talk about themselves and talk about their peers and talk about their teachers. And we have a common topic under this context. So by using this context in a full scale, and you can ask your student to express their own ideas by under the common notion of classroom context, and this is very real. So simulation practices designed for outside world is not real because it's not real in the class. Maybe it would be real outside when you have a job interview, but every one of the students would get a different type of job interview, so only one simulation practice is not real at all. But if you talk about your own ideas and feelings, experience, to let your peers or your teachers understand that is the real context and real communication. So that's what personalization is very critical about.
So it's actually a concept that challenges a lot of traditional kinds of language teaching. How have teachers reacted to this concept?
Okay. There are mainly two types of reactions. Okay? Type 1 is that some teachers are very happy about my idea, and because they have been fed up with all those meaningless role play conversations and boring pattern practice mechanical drills, but they didn't find any good way to get out. Okay? So they told me that they found a light in the darkness, or kind of things. And type 2 is very common among conventional teachers, and first of all, they are doubtful about the effectiveness of this notion or the application of the notion to their classrooms, because by doing so, maybe they don't have any idea how to evaluate the student performance. Okay? And what if you don't have enough time to go to the mechanical drills? And what if you don't have enough time to check the homeworks? so they are afraid of lack of times, and maybe some of them are still afraid of lack of times of introducing a new vocabulary, new word. Because if you let your student talk about say anything about themselves, then they need a lot of new languages, new vocabularies, new word, and maybe even new grammar. Okay, new grammar, which is a little bit far away from their present level. But still, there's some way to show the vocabulary words they need and show the grammatical points they need. So you should think about how to deal with, how to control your time to give all the important and necessary information for the student. And some of the teachers think that it is impossible. So this is type 2.
How much influence do you think this concept have had in Japanese teaching?
I see. This concept is quite new, but some other researchers outside of me have found almost the same research result as mine. Because I think it is matter of course, because now it is a time for us to seek for innovative concept, innovative method of teaching a language as a type through communication. And now the idea or notion of communication itself has changed. Okay, once the communication is just a catch ball, okay? Ball, you throw the ball and catch a ball and throw the ball again. But now it's a very complicated process of mutual understanding. A mutual understanding is just a type of communication under which you decode what you are said and and encode what you would like to say, but it's just a bargaining, okay, of the meaning. So to be successful in the bargaining of meaning, you have to know how to put your idea, your own notions or your ideas, your experiences and feeling in a suitable set of language. And for that purpose, you should give your student how to put their meanings into the target language.
Is there anything else that you think you have contributed to the field of Japanese language didactics that you want to?
I see. Yeah. Along conducting research on personalization, I have found out many other types of new ideas of teaching Japanese as a foreign or second language. One of them is a kana table. A new kana table. And by using this new kana table, one hiragana table and one katakana table, of course, you can teach how to read the letters, the phonetic level hiragana, katakana letters, even without giving your student a model of pronunciation. Okay? So you point out one letter, such as, for example, a, and ask your student to say, read it. Okay? Of course, they don't know how to read it. So, teacher, I don't know how to read it. And just think, this is a letter, so it has a sound. That's right. So they maybe say, oh, okay, no, it's not this one. Okay, that's it. Okay, kind of thing. So your student try to find out the sound out of nothing. Okay, and one by one they will know how to read it. And after maybe in an hour or so, your student can read all the hiraganas and katakanas. Okay? And in the second days, your student can make sentences. And in third days, maybe your student can write some of the sentences they have so far learned. So this is I think, a new type of my dedication.
That's really great. I remember it took me 2 weeks to learn all of that. So do it in 3 days. That's wonderful.
Okay. I have conducted some other researches on teaching and learning pronunciation. Okay? And pronunciation is a matter of muscle movement. It's, it's of course a psychological movement, first of all, but at the same time it's a muscle, kinesthetic movement. See? So I applied a lot of kinesthetic movement or kinesthetic actions to learn languages. Like in Japanese, you have pitch accent, okay? High accent and low accent. And some of the students, especially students from China and Thailand, have a difficult time to keep a low flat accent because the accent goes up and down. Okay? So my feeling, the high flat accent, I asked the student to do a movement like this, action like this. Okay? And this action, this movement occurs into their body, a kind of tense. Okay? And this tense gives the high and flat accent. And now go down like this. So a phrase like 外国人留学生 foreign student has a high and flat accent, right? And so you ask the student to go like this with the hand and push it forward until the accent goes down. Now it's the time look like it's like 外国人留学生. And by doing so, they can learn the correct accent and pitch system, and they at the same time they can realize it, you know, from the inner world, okay, from the inside of their bodies. If you give the kind of pattern practice, asks them to repeat over and over again, maybe they can do it, but next time they forgot. Because they didn't learn it from the inside of their, you know, their brain and inside of their bodies. But by applying those physical movement or kinesthetic actions, you will learn it from the inside of your body. So they don't forget.
That's very interesting. Are there some special research that you're conducting just now?
One thing I'm deeply interested in now is the idea of pluralism of CEFR, okay, CEFR. Because it enables you to be a good citizen with several different processes of languages. Okay? So that it enables you to lead a good life and satisfying life in different places in Europe. And I think this idea is very good, and the notion is very well examined. But the real application of this idea into the teaching language is not that easy. I would like to give an example of Hungarian Japanese textbook. In Hungary, they have developed a very good textbook, the elementary textbook, which is titled as Dekiru, a can do. And this textbook is very innovative and wonderful. I love it. But since there are some points that they didn't reflect the idea of pluralism into the teaching materials. For example, there are quite different types of Japanese speakers, okay? Like not only 100% native Japanese, but also Brazilian Japanese, Japanese Brazilian, or Chinese student learning Japanese as a second language. And that it is very good to show some wide variety of speakers of Japanese in Japanese context, okay, in Japanese setting. But in European context, they have lessons about Japanese situation. They have other lessons about European situation. But in European situation, I think it should be very important to introduce different type of Japanese learners in Europe. Like if you have a French student learning Japanese who is quite proficient in in Japanese, and there's a Hungarian student who has a lower who is at a lower proficiency of Japanese, and they can talk in Japanese each other, right? And this is what the Cephas plurilingualism is suggested. But in this textbook, there's no such sessions, no such scenes of communication where two Europeans talk in Japanese, okay? And they have a different proficiency. And so if this could be introduced in a textbook, the textbook is very, very nice because it's a real word of European foreign language education. I saw quite a lot of European people talk to each other in Japanese. French learners talk to German learners in Japanese, and Turkish learners talk to Spanish learners in Japanese, and their conversation is very interesting. It's a little bit different from the genuine Japanese 100% native conversation, but it is also a real Japanese communication, and I love it. I would like to see more and more situations like this, and those kind of real situations now should be introduced in the textbooks in Europe. And so I think that some of the real application, some of the development of textbooks of Japanese taught and learned in Europe should have this kind of scenes where two Europeans talk to each other in Japanese.
Do you have any plans to make a textbook yourself?
Well, that's a good question. And actually, making a textbook which is good for everyone is impossible, and it's not real. So what I'm thinking of now is to develop a resource book using which the language teachers, not only those in Japan but also those overseas, can make their classes really personalized. So it's just an idea book. There's no lessons, no practices, no homeworks, but they have an idea, and it gives the idea of how you can personalize your class and how you can encourage your student to express their ideas. That's not textbook.
What do you think is the most important question to deal with in the future in the field of language teaching?
I see. First of all, of course, personalization is, I think, one of the most important things in future pedagogy of language, because not only me but also other researchers insist that only under the personalized context you can express your own meaning, and you can understand others, and you can set up mutual communication in the real sense of the word. And at the same time, I think it is also important to contextualize the situation. Okay? You can personalize your student only under the situation you can very well contextualize the situation. contextualization is the idea that you have to show your student how to use the grammatical point, how to use the vocabulary under a certain purpose. And so if you would like to say this, you should use this. And if you would like to say this, you can use this, and you can use another one at the same time, but they have different meanings and different functions. If you can fully contextualize your lessons, you can have more chances to ask your student to personalize. Because in order to be personalized, you have to tell them a lot of varieties of grammars, a lot of varieties of vocabulary to choose. But if you just give everything bang, like this, the student will be confused how to choose the right one. But under a very clear-cut context, you can show that this is most good way to say that this is a bit ineffective, but it's very friendly kind of things. So in order to show the student to get an apt and the most adequate type of phrases and expression, you have to contextualize the settings. So contextualization and personalization should go together, and those two concepts are very important, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much for a very interesting talk. And
thank you very much.
Learned quite a lot from listening to
thank
you.
You
And I regret very much that your ideas was not there when I started with Japanese many years ago. But well, for future students, they will have great.
And it is my honor to get the chance to answer your questions. And I'm very happy to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.